Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latino. My name is Liz. I'm a customer success agent here in Virtual Latinos, and I do have the pleasure to be with Iñaki. So he's a 26 years old patient care coordinator who loves traveling and cooking as well. He's from Argentina, and he has a lot to let us know today about himself. Iñaki, how are you doing? How's your day going? Did you already have lunch? So I know there are so
I'm
many
good.
questions.
I was about to start my lunch, an Argentinian lunch. I'm having Argentinian empanadas.
Great.
Um, Great option. Really recommended. But yes, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, Liz. And yeah, I'm happy to answer your questions.
Great. Thank you so much for that. So I'm just having coffee today. Let me show that to the audience. This is Santo Domingo coffee. It's great. So I don't know, like, are you a coffee person or maybe a tea person?
Um, I love coffee. I try to now, for example, I'm switching from hot coffee to cold coffee. Um, I enjoy really much like drinking cold coffee. Um, but I also drink mate, Argentinian mate, which is similar to tea. And that's what I drink every single day while I'm working, and my coworkers already know what mate is because they see me drinking from the same cup all day, and they're like, "What are you drinking?" "Oh, this is mate," and I had the chance to show them and explain to them part of my culture, which is really great.
And I would like to know, and I'm pretty sure the audience also would like to know, how does a day in the life of Iñaki as a patient care coordinator looks like?
So I will tell you because there are things that are similar every day, but something that I find amazing about my job in particular is that every day I do something different. So every day I have the chance to learn something new about like anything between medical terminology to a recipe from Mexican cuisine, because we have a Mexican patient telling us that she loves cooking enchiladas, and she teaches me over the phone how to cook that while she's waiting for the provider. So it's really different, but basically I get up. I have 5 hours of time difference with my client.
Wow.
So by the time that I get up, they probably didn't even go to sleep yet sometimes. I get up, I have breakfast with my family. Then they start doing their activities because I live with my sister, my dad, and my nephew, and they all have activities in the morning. So I enjoy, sometimes depending on the weather, I go out. I have doctor's appointments like every other person.
Yeah.
And then I start working at 1:30 Argentina time, and we have a little meeting with my coworkers, like a huddle meeting, where we basically tell each other news that we have. If we have to ask for me or my coworkers, of course, we have to ask for time off, or we have some news we want to share, or things like that. We have that time every single day. My client really wants us to have that space to be able to share the good and the bad things. So we have that huddle meeting, and then I start working. I start getting calls from patients. And as I was saying, depending on the day, sometimes I start answering the phones a little bit later because I have to help my office manager with some tasks. So basically, I work doing different things until it's time to say goodbye. And then I have dinner with my family because it's 10 p.m. in Argentina when I finish working. Yes. So I have a quick dinner with my dad usually, and then I go to sleep. That's my life.
So what is that number one thing that you do to avoid distractions? Because having people around you, having your phone, having your computer, YouTube is there, Instagram is on your phone. What do you do to avoid distractions?
Something that is really good is that because of my job, I use something that it's called, I'm sure you know, but maybe the audience doesn't know. I use something called VoIP phone, voice over IP phone. So basically from Argentina, I'm able to answer calls with an American phone number. And I use an app on my phone to actually get those calls. So I use my phone all day while I'm working. So I don't have the chance to get out of the app and go to Instagram or to whatever, because I basically need to be paying attention to the calls that may arrive.
Right.
So that's really good. And then I try to take, obviously my client does know this, so this is not a secret. I usually try to take little, like maybe 10-minute breaks, especially after doing something really hard, like talking about insurances with someone, like, or having like a 1 hour long conversation with a patient or something. I try to like, let me go
Take a break.
let me go to the restroom, drink a cup of coffee, take a look at 2 stories on Instagram, and then I keep going. And yeah, my client says that it's absolutely fine. It's normal. You're a human being. So that's really good. You can have little breaks, not a lot, but little breaks during your work times or your work hours. So it's not really really difficult or really like boring for you as well.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get like overwhelmed when you're only working, taking calls, and you never take not even 3 or 4 minutes to rest, like to reset yourself from that difficult call, from that difficult email. So yes, it's good to always take a moment, breathe, and reset. This is how I call it. So it's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So also I wanted to ask you, how do you stay positive and motivated working remotely?
I think like the first thing that I would say is that the days that I'm not that optimistic or positive, I embrace that feeling because it's natural. Sometimes I let my coworkers know, like, hey, today's not the best day ever. So if I'm a little behind, bear with me. And they're like, of course. And it happens the same with my coworkers working in person at the clinic. So, but I usually try to think about the good things that I have or the good things that I can do because I'm working remotely. Sometimes that helps. Thinking about the traffic. I don't know in other countries, but in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, in all Argentina, but especially in Buenos Aires, traffic is insane. Like it could take you like 40 minutes to go 15 blocks away from your house.
Here's the same.
And it's like, I don't want to think about that. Or the subway or the buses, like completely crowded. Now that it's getting hotter, my goodness, no. That is my motivation for sure. But yeah, I try to talk to another friends that work remotely as well to ask for advice. Sometimes I give advice to them, sometimes they give advice to me. So being within a community helps a lot too. And that's why I love Virtual Latinos, because you get to know other Virtual Latinos, either from your country or from other countries that are doing the same thing, sometimes even the same industry. So you can actually ask them things about the work as well. And it's fantastic. It's great. That sense of belonging is great.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, as you said, having someone to support you when you need maybe an advice or when you need to talk, because sometimes it's just sending me a message, for example, hey, Liz, how are you doing? And just like receiving a message back makes you feel like better. So I know that feeling. So also I wanted to ask you if this is something that you wanted always to be, like working as a virtual assistant, or this is something that you just decided to do after the pandemic, or how was it, that transition from being working in an office to be working as a virtual assistant?
So my last work experience before being a patient care coordinator was outside Argentina. I was part of cultural exchange program in the US. So that was completely different. It was not in an office. It was really different, but really helpful for me to get a lot of skills that now I use on a daily basis.
Great.
And when I finished that program and I came back home, the thing that I wanted to do was keep practicing my English on a daily basis and speak English every day like I was doing in the US for obvious reasons. So I had a friend that I was telling him this, like, hey, I would love to keep working in English, but I guess I will become an English teacher in Argentina and that will be it. And he was like, well, I have a friend that works at this company, this agency that helps Latinos to get a job for US-based companies. So you can work from home and you can speak English every day. And I was like, you're kidding. This is not real. And then I knew about Virtual Latinos and I said, like, this is my people. This is my place.
Great.
And then obviously I had this like imposter syndrome telling me they won't choose you. You don't have the correct experience. You don't have the English. There's a lot of people that will be better than you. And I'm here giving this interview now after a couple of months. So,
Great. And you've been
yes,
doing great. Good. Thank you so much, Iñaki, for that. So also, I wanted to ask you for a piece of advice to those future VAs that are watching and listening right now. What is that advice that you will give them?
Yeah. So I think I would have two pieces of advice. The first one will be, as we were saying, believe in yourself, believe in your skills, believe in your resume. You don't have to be extremely expert in something to become a great virtual assistant. So believe in yourself, and when you start doing the process, like the interviews and everything, be yourself and don't be afraid to show your true colors and all the things you have available to bring to the table, because the clients will love that. My client really told me, I love your transparency. I love the way that you were explaining things, because I felt that you were being genuine, and I want people like that at my office. And that was the thing that made me a winner. So that will be the first one. Believe in yourself. That sounds like a cliche or something that you found on Instagram stories, but it's real. If you believe in yourself, you will be able to achieve the goals that you want, because the brain doesn't know about possible things. You order something to your brain and the brain will go and do it. So that's one. And the second one will be, don't take things too personal. Because it happened to me with my clients. Sometimes I was doing things in a way, and my client was really nice all the time to tell me, hey, this is not the way that you should be doing this. But that doesn't mean that you are not good enough or that you are not made to be able to do this. Like, no, not at all. It's that constructive feedback is helping you to become a better virtual assistant. So that will be, because Latinos usually, or at least Argentinians are usually really like, he told me that, I'm so sad. He hates me now. My client hates me. I will quit. And I'm like, no. Like, take the drama away, and embrace those advices from the clients and maybe other coworkers too. That worked for me. Like the first time that my client told me something that I was doing wrong, I remember calling my mom, because I lived like 2 hours away from my mom's. And I was calling her and I was telling, my client told me that I was doing this wrong. What should I do? Should I quit? And my mom was like, are you kidding me? You've been here for 2 weeks. Come on, you can do it better. But yes, that will be my advice.
Great, that's amazing. So yes, guys, as you just heard, be open to feedback, Because the only way that you will know you're doing something wrong, it's when someone tells you this is wrong. If not, you're gonna keep doing the same thing, and at the end, you're gonna get like the same results. So,
Yeah.
Iñaki, I want to thank you so much for your time today. It was amazing for you to share this story with us. It's been great having you as my agent for the last few months. And yeah, so I just want to give like the scenario open for you to give like any final feedback or advice to the audience that's listening to us right now.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to you too. You're a great host. You can have a TV show in Dominican Republic.
Thank you.
I will be your fan. And yeah, like a final thought would be like trust the process, trust. Like the world is changing, so don't be afraid to start working remotely. It's something that the pandemic helped a lot, but now a lot of companies internationally are starting to understand that you can be as productive as the same way that you like were when you were going to an office, but now from your home. And yeah, don't be afraid. Just go and click that apply button, and um, yeah, maybe we'll be coworkers, and we can share more tips over the Telegram channels from Virtual Latinos, and yeah, we will become a big, huge family.
Thank you so much. And also, guys, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this channel to wait for more episode of A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latinos. Thank you, Iñaki.
Bye bye.